Welcome to the NLP UK Training podcast. I'm Callie Fraser.
And I'm Steve Kay.
And today we're going to be talking about sausages.
The sausage machine. So there's a guy called Richard Wilkins who has a business called the Ministry of Inspiration. What a fantastic name. And I was introduced to Richard through Andy Cope, and we had him along to do this conference thing we were doing. And he told a story about the sausage machine. And we use this on the NLP audios because it really fits in with what you put in, you get out, and it fits in with you're in charge of your mind, therefore you can be in charge of your results. It's about putting the good stuff in. And Zig Ziglar had some older stories that perhaps aren't quite as appropriate these days about dogs and dogs fighting and stuff and feeding the right dog. But the sausage machine is really nice. So let's go through the sausage machine, what it is. So Richard would stand in front of a table and he'd say, right, okay, here's my sausage machine, he said, and he'd say, right, I'm the waiter, there's the creator. So you're the waiter, I'm the creator. What if the waiter wants pork sausages out of the sausage machine, what's the creator got to put in?
Oh, that's a hard one,
I'll
Steve.
help with the
Real hard one.
It's pork.
Oh, right.
So now if the waiter wants some beef sausages out, what's the creator got to put in?
Well, you want some good quality British beef, don't you?
You do, unless you're watching it somewhere else, in which case you want your own country's produce. Here's one then. What about you want some vegetarian sausages? What do you have to put in? And don't say what Sheila said on the videos.
So you want some really good quality, probably organic veg.
Organic, yeah. So you'd have some nice vegetables to go in your sausage machine. And then you'd have vegetarian sausages.
Yeah.
So then Richard would say, or I would say when I was doing it, okay, so who here wants to be happy?
Well, that's a no-brainer. Everyone wants to be happy.
Who here wants to be successful? However, the measure success.
Yeah.
To me, success is doing something or working towards something you want to do. So if you're working towards being a teacher and that's really what you want to do, then that's success.
Yeah.
So we've got happiness, success, good relationships.
Oh, definitely want good relationships.
Okay. So here's the thing. What does the creator have to put in to get happiness, success, and good relationships?
Well, I don't think it's pork.
No, it's not
and I don't think it's beef. And I definitely don't think... Well, it could be some vegetarians.
It could be. But let's go back. If you want pork sausages out, what have you got to put in?
So it would have to be... To get the thing out that you want, you've got to put the thing in that you want.
Exactly.
So it'd be happiness, success, good relationship.
Yeah. So I wake up on a Monday morning. I've got a plan for the day and I'm feeling really good because I'm looking forward to it because I'm doing something I enjoy doing. But some people wake up on a Monday morning and they're like, So what are they going to get on Tuesday morning if they're putting that in or most of Monday?
Well, they're just going to get more of the same, aren't they?
I wish it was Friday.
Yeah.
They're going to get the same on Tuesday, and same on Wednesday, same on Thursday, same on Friday. So what Richard said is a lot of people live at the wrong end of the sausage machine. They're waiting for the good stuff to come out, but they're not putting the good stuff in.
Yeah.
And in one of the earlier episodes, we talked about negativity bias and how we can see the world maybe a bit negatively, and we exaggerate that to protect us. So once you're aware of that, and it's on one of the older podcasts, number 7, I think, if I'm being sad. If it's if we think about it like that, we're aware of our negativity bias, then we can put the good stuff in. Like I want the podcast to go really well today. So I'm going to make sure I get a decent night's sleep, have a couple of pieces of toast before I come in the morning, wear a clean shirt, have a smile on my face, have a cup of tea. So I'm really looking forward to doing this. And I'm set up for the day, aren't I? Because I'm putting the right stuff in. And it goes for anything we want, doesn't it?
But it's sometimes, it's you hear people moaning and groaning about how hard things are and how difficult it is. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and it's not the easiest of times.
Yeah.
But it's not about whether something's hard or difficult. It's about the attitude that you have about it.
Yeah.
Is that what Richard was trying to say?
Well, what Richard would say is that, he saw it being very, very simple, and he was such a lovely person. He was engaging to be with. He was like a light. He was, a bit of a celebrity, but he didn't act like a celebrity.
Yeah.
He was great, and he's got a lovely business and great life, and they've made together. But it would be more about being your authentic self, and then just thinking about being in the present, choosing to be happy, and choosing to think about what you wanted to do, and having gratitude for where you are.
Yeah.
And then putting the right stuff in, and then knowing that at the end of the sausage machine, it will continue to come out. It's like with our NLP practitioner courses, we know that if we've got a fantastic website, which apparently we've got the best in the country, if not Europe, best NLP site. So we know that that's going to attract people to inquire.
Mm.
We also know that if we have podcasts, that will get people who connect with you and connect with me and get some good stuff. So we know if we keep doing good stuff and putting it in, then eventually it will come out the other end.
Every time we do an NLP practitioner course, we absolutely give our all to our delegates so they have a fantastic experience. And then they'll go and tell other people.
Yeah.
So we get more of the good stuff out.
Yeah.
So if we keep putting all this good stuff in, we're going to keep getting the good stuff out.
Yeah. And if you're not getting the result that you want, maybe it's about changing what you put in. So maybe altering your marketing a little bit, experimenting, doing experiments with other things. But generally, if you're happy and upbeat, the other thing about this is you can't just be happy and upbeat when you're in front of a client.
You've got to be happy and upbeat.
You've got to be happy and upbeat
yourself
all the time, because otherwise it puts off the wrong energy. So you've got to be happy and upbeat. If you're a teacher, you've got to be happy and upbeat about the kids when you're in the staff room. There's no point in moaning about the kids when you're in the staff room, then going into the classroom, because the energy follows with you, doesn't it?
You've got to be authentic.
Exactly.
But what happens, Steve, if you're not in that mindset? You're actually quite a negative person. Maybe you've been putting some of the bad stuff in the sausage machine and the sausage hasn't been very tasty, but you want to change that. How do we go about changing what we put in?
Well, it's a simple thing. Earl Nightingale in the 1950s had the analogy that the mind is like land. If the farmer plants some seeds of corn, then sure as eggs is eggs, a few months later you're going to get corn growing. But if the farmer plants some seeds of deadly nightshade, I don't know what that was when I heard him say it, then that's what will come out of the land. So in other words, the land doesn't care what you put in it, but it'll grow what you put in it. And the mind doesn't care what you put in it, but it will grow whatever you put in it. So you kind of got to, we've talked about Lasada, you've got to put at least 3 times as many compliments in as negative feedback to yourself and other people. So if you're not putting the right stuff in, this goes back to the days of positive self-talk on podcast 7, What is NLP? You've got to be putting that stuff in for the mind to grow. But then the mind gets used to growing and it becomes a habit, doesn't it? So it's habitual to be good. It's like you train a muscle in the same way you train your mind. You kind of practice.
For me, it's about it's recognition.
Yeah.
I love that quote from Miles Downey's book. Awareness is curative, because once you become aware, then you can start to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be majorly different. Just small things will start to become, like Steve says, habit. So again, it's thinking about how am I talking to myself? Because it always starts with you. It's not about doing this with other people first. It's about doing it with yourself first. So how am I talking to myself? What are the good things that I'm planting in my own mind before you start doing it with other people?
But I think Richard's analogy of the sausage machine is great because it's so simple.
Yeah.
So simple to understand, but it's about doing it. But you can catch yourself out. Like, if you're not getting the results you want, then you must be not putting the right stuff into your sausage machine at the beginning. So it's all about putting the right thing into the sausage machine. And we're going to leave it with that because it's just the way it is. So thank you for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.